Vim Wright had a vision for the future of our world, one where the environmental and agricultural communities become one, united in the common cause of protecting our natural resources while assuring the sustainable production of ample supplies of high-quality food and fiber. Vim understood that the two groups had more in common than not and worked tirelessly to bring them together to share concerns, ideas, and dreams. And Vim was right. On her behalf, Farming and the Environment is pleased to announce that Headland Farms in Lackawanna, Washington is the 2008 Stewardship Farm of the Year. Owners David Headland and Serena Campbell, along with David's sisters Carol and Mary, have maintained the highest possible environmental ethic and employ proven sustainable farming practices. The operation embodies the very concepts of communication, cooperation, and community involvement that were Vim's vision for the future.
We're in the third generation of our family farm. This farm was started by my grandpa Rasmus Kodal, who came over from Denmark in 1904, spent 2 years in the Dakotas with relatives, and then came out here. He bought land from the Connor family as he could afford it. The common thread on our farm is vegetable seed. He grew vegetable seed then, and we are in the third generation of growing vegetable seed now. Cabbage seed, beet seed, and spinach seed primarily. In the early days, in addition to that, it was a pretty classic farm, 4 or 5 cows and chickens. Serena and I farm about 400 acres of diversified crops now. Of that, 200 is certified organic and the balance is farmed conventionally. We have a greenhouse operation providing services to vegetable seed companies and tissue culture labs. We grow transplants primarily for the seed industry and custom transplant them for the production of vegetable seed in about a 3-county area around here. Over the last 20 to 25 years, we've been expanding our fresh market presence, pretty much all certified organic. And that includes about 35 acres of mixed vegetable crops, just about everything from artichokes to zucchini, and about 10,000 square feet of greenhouse space devoted to vegetable production. Tomatoes, 3 standard beefsteak varieties, and about 40 different heirloom and cherry varieties that we're producing, a full range of peppers, basil, and that sort of thing. Our family has a really strong stewardship ethic, and organic fits in that, but it's much deeper and more profound than just a label like organic or conventional or anything like that. I think it's important to articulate that no family farm makes it to the third generation in a vacuum. I mean, we're very, very lucky here in the Skagit to have a supportive community, Washington State University's research unit, Skagitonians to Preserve Farmland, all kinds of organizations, the Northwest Ag Research Foundation, which we growers assess ourselves and use that money to fund agricultural research for the betterment of the whole community, and good neighbors. When you have a problem on a farm in this community, your neighbors help. That's really important. The other thing was the wonderful soil that we have the privilege of farming here. The Skagit is, I believe, in the top half of 1% of soils worldwide. It truly is a remarkable place. Over 80 crops of commercial significance are grown here in the valley, so there's a broad diversity of crops. The kind of farming that goes on in the Skagit is viewed by the National Academy of Sciences as ideal, because we grow so many different crops. We break disease cycles by rotation first and with other methods second. We're just very, very lucky. There isn't a day goes by I don't thank the good Lord my grandpa left North Dakota and came here to the Skagit.
Over concern for shrinking shorebird habitat, in 2005 the Nature Conservancy embarked on a revolutionary new project, contracting with 3 farming operations in the Skagit Valley to provide shorebird habitat while maintaining the economic viability of the land involved.
The question really was whether they could work with the farming community to provide some of that habitat within the framework of our normal and accustomed farming practices. For us, I think the project was as much about learning how to work with an environmental group as anything. They enlisted 3 of the growers in this area. Each grower has 3 separate treatments. A green chop field, which is essentially just forage mowed short periodically, and the second is a grazed area, and the third is sheet flooding. The sheet flooding was based on the Klamath Basin model, where they've seen a huge response to shallow water from the migratory shorebirds. And also, I think there were some really major benchmarks in terms of how this project was viewed by the agricultural community. First being doing something and not being expected to do it for free. I think the next big benchmark will be when we take it back out of flooding and return it to cultivation.
This is being done as a crop. We're growing a crop for the Nature Conservancy, basically. They've got the money, they've got the science. We're analyzing whether or not we can do projects that will help shorebirds within the parameters of production agriculture. This includes soil analysis on the 3 pieces, both fertility and microbiology, then the counts of the shorebirds at the different counting time. We want to start a new trend. My hope is instead of 80 crops of commercial significance in the Skagit Valley, we have 83. Try and fix more than you break every day. You know, it's pretty simple. But ultimately, the question is, how do you treat your soil and your community? Is it sustainable? You know, the fact that we've been farming here for 100 years on both sides of Sullivan Slough, and it's still some of the best rearing habitat left for Chinook salmon, that's important to me. Whether it's organic or conventional, that's really important to me because that's an indication of sustainability, that we can do it 100 years and do it another 100 years. In this day and age, I think that's pretty powerful.
The owners of Headland Farms have set a standard for sustainable farming that truly exemplifies the vision of agricultural practices working hand in hand with the concepts of environmental stewardship. The strong environmental ethic that is pervasive in every aspect of their operation is equally reflected in the history of the farm. And with the 4th generation already doing their parts, that environmental ethic will continue to guide Headland Farms well into the next 100 years.